What's up guys, Damian Keyes here, welcome back to the channel. So I've been doing this music promotion, music marketing and general all-round helping musicians for a long time. Actually, it's been about 20 years. I know I use very good moisturizer. But whilst I have been doing this for a long time, there are certain things that really piss me off. They really grind my gears. So come with me on a journey as today we go into my 8 things that musicians need to stop doing when they are promoting their music. Okay, number 1 is a big one. Number 1 really grinds my gears, and that is logic on a screen. Logic on a fucking screen. I cannot tell you how many times I have musicians putting logic on a screen on their Instagram story. And in case you don't know what logic on a screen is, it's this. This is when you have written a new song, a new piece of art, something that's gonna change the world, that's gonna tell your audience a beautiful story. And how you represent this is by taking a picture of your laptop with logic on a screen. Please, for the love of God, stop taking pictures. Tell stories. Make something interesting that shows off this new song. Maybe perform a little bit of this new song. Have a picture of your face and how excited and the emotion of this new track. But please stop with logic on a screen. Number 2 is thinking that a 15-second ad is going to create a super fan base. Now think of this. We are all in the age where we can advertise on Facebook. And so everyone has taken to this idea that instead of building a beautiful audience, what they will do is they will put 15 seconds of their music video, which takes people across to listen to their track on Spotify. But there is one massive problem with this, which is when you get to Spotify, people need to listen to 30 seconds of that track before Spotify counts that as one play. So think about it. 15 seconds of someone who has never heard of you before, and you want them to swipe across to Spotify to listen to more than 30 seconds before they then put that song into a playlist. They then save the song and they follow you on Spotify before returning to Instagram, at which point they decide they're going to be a super fan forever. All for the cost of a 15-second ad. It's not realistic. Think about it. What we actually need to be doing if we are going to spend some money on advertising, probably for $1 or $2 a day, is bringing people into the party. Let's get the brand out there. Let's get the music out there. Let's get people excited. But let's stop trying to build our Spotify numbers or from people who've never heard from you from a 15-second advert alone. Number 3, following on in a similar vein from anyone who does any adverts, which is targeting over 1 million people, but with an ad budget of around $1 a day. Now, think about this. If you are trying to get in front of 1 million people, $1 is not going to get you very far. So when you are doing your targeting on your Facebook ads, we need to think about hyper targeting, which means we've got to get that audience down to a small number. We've got to make sure that the people we are getting our message in front of is the exact demographic, not a similar demographic, an exact demographic. So that way the $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or pounds that we are spending on that advert is spent well. You would not believe how much money is wasted on Facebook ad because of bad targeting. Number 4, I will stop saying this one when I stop seeing this one, and that is stop ignoring people in the comments. You have one job on social media, and that is to provide value. You are providing value so that you can build and look after this audience. When people comment on a piece of content because they've gone, this is great, I love it, I want to say thank you, or I want to say hello, or I want to get involved in some way, and then you ignore them, how are you possibly going to build an audience? How are you possibly going to turn people from an audience into a super fan? Someone who will buy a ticket or a piece of merch, a t-shirt. How are you going to do that if you big time your audience? When someone says something in the comments, this is an opportunity. An opportunity more than saying cheers or thank you. This is an opportunity to strike up a conversation, not only for that one person, but for everyone else who sees that conversation and says, wow, you're in the room, you're in the party, and when someone comments, you comment back. I am now more likely to comment. If they see someone's left a comment and you don't, they are thinking, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to comment and be ignored. That's really embarrassing. And on top of that, you're also helping the algorithm. So please, for the love of God, make sure you use every opportunity when it comes to looking after people in your comments every day. Number 5, the big one-punch knockout. How many times have I heard, right, I've got my song, how do I get this out there and take over the world and build an audience? Well, I don't know. With one song, it better be the greatest song on earth. You have to think about this as a long-term patient game. In fact, if it's a one-punch knockout, think of it like this. You are in a 12-round boxing match, which means you have 12 3-minute rounds. If you walk in and you throw the biggest punch and then say, that's it, I'm done, you're going to lose. You've got to throw 150 punches in every round and be prepared for a 12-round fight. 12 rounds of 150 punches. And if you just so happen to knock someone out with the first punch, fantastic. But we have to be thinking of the long-term game, the 12 rounds. Every piece of social media, every piece of content, every song, every performance is just one punch on the way to building your career. Let's stop thinking about the big swing and let's put a strategy together which works over the next 12, 24, 36 months. Number 6, planning one release at a time. I've got my song, I've released my song. Oh, what happens next? I guess I'll make another song and then I'll release that song and see what happens. I think it is a much better strategy if right this minute, if you want a record deal, you sign a record deal. Right this minute. Who'd have thought you're going to come out of this video having signed your own record deal, and you're going to sign a record deal to your own record label. Mine would be called Frilly Pink Records. No, it wouldn't. It'd be called Damian Keyes Records. And therefore, I'm signing myself to the next 6 releases, which means I am going to say I'm going to release one now, I'm going to release one in a month after, and a month after. I'm going to put those into the diary. They are now in. And what that means is I'm not thinking about releasing and then wondering what happens next. I'm planning my release number 6, even though I'm only on release number 1. Because this game is all about momentum. I'm releasing number 1 because I can see how that fits into number 2, which fits into number 3. And the whole story is being played out and told onto my social media. So when I get to number 6, maybe I'll re-sign another deal. But what I'm not doing is just saying, I don't know, I'll put it out and see what happens, and then I'll make another plan after that. Let's think about a long-term release strategy, and right now you can sign yourself to your own major independent financial record deal. Number 7, posting a statement instead of a story. Now, I see this probably more than anything else on this list. This is every day for me. This is bands and artists who are putting out social media content where they are making a statement which effectively puts their hand up and says, that's it, I'm done, leave me alone. For example, I go down the road, I take a picture of my favorite venue in Brighton. Really good story. And I just say, here is my favorite venue in Brighton. And everyone goes, okay, cool. But there's no real question. There's no reason to comment. Whereas if I said, this is my favorite venue in Brighton, and these are the reasons why this is my favorite venue in Brighton, and I believe that venues should have a home for local bands to cut their teeth, and I want this venue to survive because I love playing it and I love going there, and that's why this is my favorite venue. Tell me your favorite venue. Now, all of a sudden, I've given a story, I've brought the emotion, but more importantly, I have asked you to come in and join the party. I've allowed you in. More importantly, I've dragged you in. I've said, tell me your favorite venue. And at which point, everyone just goes, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to tell you my favorite venue. And then someone jumps on and goes, my favorite venue is this venue. At which point, you can go back into it and go, I've never played that venue. What was the band that you saw saw in that venue, and they say, oh, I saw this band, oh, wicked, I've never seen that band, what were they like? You're starting a conversation, you're starting a relationship, you're taking an audience member on the journey through to fan and super fan, and that is how you're going to keep this engagement going and trigger that Instagram or YouTube or Facebook algorithm. And number 8, I think this one is the most important one. So if you have made it this far in the video, 2 things. Number 1, give yourself a high five. And number 2, I think you should like this video because, you know, you are the hardcore and this video is the hardcore. So, you know, mash the subscribe button. But this one is really, really important. This one is, instead of thinking of the socials, think of the adventure. Now, I'm big on this one at the moment because I hear so many bands and artists and musicians saying, I don't really know what to put on socials. And I think, well, stop thinking of your socials. Why are you thinking about socials? If you wake up every day and think, what shall I put on my socials today? You have a problem. That is the wrong thing. You're in a band, or you're an artist, or you're a music maker, you're a songwriter. These are cool things to do. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop thinking, what shall I put on my socials? And I want you to think, what adventures am I having today? For example, am I going to write a new song? Am I going to have a band rehearsal? Am I having a band photo shoot? Am I doing a band video? Am I going to do a live performance? What's the cool thing that I am going to do today for my music and for my audience? The socials, that's the easy bit. Because if you're going to rehearsal, you've got a bunch of opportunities to take pictures, to make videos, to tell stories. If you're going to write a song, you can play part of that song. You can not put Logic on a screen. You can do all of these things. But it comes from the adventure, not the socials. And too many people are focusing towards the socials. What shall I put on my socials? I don't know, I'll just take another picture of me and crowbar that into social media. Well, where's the story? Where's the adventure? Where's the reason? Whereas if you think about the adventure first, socials is easy. That's just documenting what you're doing. But you can only document what you're doing if what you're doing is worth documenting. So think about the adventure first. You are a musician, a songwriter, a creative, an artist. These are cool things to do and cool things to shout about. But you have to do them if you're going to shout about them. So that's my top 8 pet peeves. But what I want to know from you is, what are your biggest pet peeves when it comes to other musicians or people in your town and city who are also musicians or bands or artists? Tell me in the comments below the things that really grind your gears, they really drive you up the wall. But other than that, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. More importantly, just come and be a part of this community because I'm so proud of watching what you guys are creating, watch you guys evolve. And so, you know, I love it when you guys are in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.